Hi everyone. For this mini project, I went ahead and created a presentation showing the study that I chose to do, how I chose to follow up with it, and exactly the mindfulness meditation that I chose, the strength that I wanted to kind of explore. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Um, if this ever loads. Okay. So exploration and mindfulness. So the strength that I wanted to kind of explore was gratitude. The reason that I chose this was because where gratitude fell on the scale for me on the VIA results was a lot lower than I thought it was. And so this was really interesting to me because I kind of saw it as like a something that I normally do, not something that I don't do often. Um, and so I kind of just wanted to take a second to explore it, and I thought it would be a really good time to do it during this project as well. So with this, I wanted to go ahead and do a mindfulness meditation. So I wanted to follow along with the one that was mentioned in Buddha's Brain, the book that we have been reading for our class. The reason that I wanted to do this was because I do meditate, or at least I try to, daily. And it's not an easy thing to do only because I have a really hard time like sitting down and kind of just like taking everything in. So I wanted to go ahead and just kind of try reading kind of the description that was mentioned. This was mentioned in one of the pages. I listed it on here, but in case you all are interested in kind of just like relating that. But so I wanted to go ahead and follow along with that and kind of just guide myself through that because with the meditations that I do in my daily life, um, those are guided like it's like a like one that I find on Spotify. Um, and so anyways, sorry, getting a little bit off topic, but so that's what I kind of wanted to focus on. So for this section of my presentation, I did want to show a little bit about how the 7-day mindful practice went. So through the 7 days, I do also journal. I know I mentioned this in my last mini project as well. I do journal. So each day that I went through the mindful meditation, I wrote down kind of how it made me feel, kind of what I focused on. And so here you can kind of just see little details of what I was focused on more on certain days, or at least what I tried to focus on. Some days definitely felt a little heavier in the sense of like with relations to gratitude. It's not necessarily something that I hadn't thought of, but it was something that I didn't know, like I don't know how to express it. Like how much it plays. I mean, of course I know how much it plays into your life, but like really just kind of like I guess just following along with this with the 7 days. You can kind of just see on here. The final day kind of just concluded in me taking everything in. Um, trying to get rid of that negativity because I know that this meditation allows me to do that. It allows me to take out that negative emotion, um, those negative feelings that I might be holding on to that I might not consciously realize. So it was really interesting to kind of just follow along with this meditation, especially because, as I mentioned before, sitting still isn't very easy. But so that's kind of just a little bit on that section of this project. And I want to talk about this very quickly as well. So the neurological changes based on the third measure. So for the third measure, I chose the PANAS questionnaire, the one that was mentioned for our first mini project. The reason that I wanted to go ahead and do this questionnaire was because I liked that it was more based on words. Because if you all, and just like a little refresher in case you don't remember, you didn't do this one. Um, the questionnaire was basically like it gave a series of words. I believe it was like 20 words. And it was like, how do you feel about this word? How do you feel about this word? And so I found this really interesting because I know personally for me, words have a very big impact, whether they're said, whether I read them, like, and they just have they take a big toll on me, um, whether they're positive or negative. And so I kind of wanted to do that based off of the word of like not word of, but so I wanted to base that questionnaire on being able to make me see what makes me feel more positive, what makes me feel more negative, and then relate that to the meditation that allows me to get rid of that negative emotion. And so with this as well, I know it was mentioned in the Buddha's Brain book, that there's activation in the prefrontal cortex, um, that's caused by happiness, by being more happy. I don't exactly remember what chapter it's mentioned in. It is in my references. Um, but um, overall, I just wanted to kind of just focus on that because I feel like it all ties together and it's not something that I had come to like acknowledge before. And so doing this little mini project, it was very interesting to kind of just see like, again, I think I express my gratitude a lot. I do say thank you excessively. Um, so I guess it was just really interesting overall. And compared to the first mini project, kind of being able to like work on those little like holes of don't forget like missing this and don't forget this. And I know that my first discussion for this mini project was not the clearest. So thank you all for the little tips that you gave me. Um, and then lastly, my references. But if you all have any questions or anything, if anything was left unclear, please feel free to comment or reply. But yeah, thank you guys so much.